Welcome to the latest and greatest mock draft. Now, a few things have happened since we last spoke. Dylan Harper hasn't fallen off per se, but Cooper Flagg has clearly taken that next step and proven he is far and away the best talent in this upcoming draft class. So no matter who's drafting here, Cooper Flagg is going to be that dude. His shot has started to increase and fall. His three-pointers up to, I think, 37%. And of course, he still does a little bit of everything offensively, a little bit of everything defensively, defends at the 5, plays at the 1 on offense. He is just what you need to kickstart a franchise rebuild. Now, I continue to see a little more Scotty Barnes than I do Luka Doncic when I see his game. I don't know if he's good enough to put your team to championship level contention like Victor Wembanyama is already, although he does have that unfortunate blood clot injury that he's dealing with. But at the end of the day, for this draft class, it goes Cooper Flagg in a tier of his own. Then you got Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, the Rutgers guys. And at the bottom of that tier, I actually have Trey Johnson as well as sort of the next tier down from Cooper Flagg. So 1 through 4, I believe, is pretty strong in this class. And then after that, it's kind of your pick of the litter. Who do you like? VJ Edgecomb, Asa Newell, Kaman Malak. Those are sort of the next tier down of starter quality role players that you're going to find in this year's draft class. But anyway, enough talking. Number 1 overall to the Washington Wizards goes Cooper Flagg, 6'9" forward out of Duke. Going to be incredible. His floor is so high and his ceiling is even higher, especially in today's game where athleticism isn't all that. Look at Luka Doncic, look at LeBron James at 47 years old, respectively. Number 2 for the Orlando Pelicans. Why did I say Orlando? New Orleans Pelicans. And they should really go after Dylan Harper. I know they traded for DeJounte Murray. I know that there's a lot of ball dominant guys, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson. They no longer have Brandon Ingram. They could really use a wing. And I wouldn't be surprised if they swing for the fences here. They say, Ace Bailey, you're going to take us to the promised land with your incredible shot making. But Dylan Harper, I think, has to be considered the number 2 player in this class. Don't draft anybody else if you have this pick because he can play a little bit off ball. He's a great defender. His shooting, while it isn't at the 17% it was at the beginning of the season, and it's not at the 40% it was at the middle of the season, it's still at a strong 32, 33%. The form I don't love. He shoots sort of below his eyes, but the rest of the game is there. He's such a complete player. He plays at his own pace. He runs the team. He processes the game so well. Big kid, not strong or vertically gifted like Cooper Flagg is comparatively. He's got a solid handle and he looks damn confident out there. So if the 3-ball falls for him and the scoring comes as well, he can play off ball. He can play on ball. He can be either one. He can basically do what you need on the New Orleans Pelicans team. So he's going to go number 2 overall. No surprises yet. And here at number 3, is the Utah Jazz. Now, I expect them to trade away Lauri Markkanen this offseason, even though the Golden State Warriors don't have the draft capital. Actually, they do. They could theoretically trade for him too. But I think at this point, you swing for the fences and you go for the freak known as Ace Bailey. He just moves differently than other players on the basketball court. 6'10", can jump out of the gym, can shot make. Now, the basketball IQ isn't there, and that's sort of the big problem with his game. He can do everything, but you don't want him to do everything. You want him to play a little more within himself. The shots that he takes are these like disgusting defenders all crowded up in his space, off balance, off platform shots. You compare him to like a Kevin Durant. I know that's a lofty expectation, but you notice Kevin Durant gets to his spot, elevates, and it's the exact same shooting form every single time he shoots. That's why he's so efficient from the mid-range and out, because it's the same shot every single time. He doesn't let guys get him off balance. If he has a defender on him, he'll create space and then elevate. What Ace Bailey does with that 6'10" God-given talent is he just shoots over people no matter where his feet are. You'll see his legs go any which way, sideways, upside down, and he'll still try to take the shot. And the problem is, about half the time he's going to make the shot. That is how good his shot making is. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. Look no further than his teammate that's going to be here in Utah, Jordan Clarkson. But Ace Bailey is going to go number 3 overall. And then with the final pick of the litter is Trey Johnson. I think he's going to pair really well here as a pure scorer alongside LaMelo Ball, who's actually a pass first point guard, even though he puts up ridiculous numbers. Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, a little bit of ball handling. Defense is going to be there. This is going to be an all offense, no defense team except for Mark Williams, who's somehow back on the team after that rescinded Los Angeles Lakers trade. But certainly the final player in this tier that we're going to be looking at. Now comes the next tier of players. And for some reason, Kasparas Jakusionis, however you say his damn name, is like the consensus best player in this draft. I really don't see him. I have him in a sort of tier of... stammering over my words. He is listed as a point guard, 3-point marksman, creates, like, everybody is projecting him as this potentially Luka Doncic, Trae Young, like this guy who can shoot the three and also set up for his teammates. Kasparas has possibly the worst handle I've seen from a starting point guard in college basketball. He has like 4.5, maybe 5 turnovers a night. And they're not even like the, oh darn, you were so close turnovers. They were the really ugly ones. So I think if you draft Kasparas, you play him in more of a Grayson Allen role. You have him be a shooter for your team instead of a ball handler. His shot is perfect. It's dynamic. It's 40%. He's going to hit the ground running in the NBA as far as shooting is concerned. But the playmaking, the dribbling, the decision making, I'm not a big fan of it. That's why I still have Igor Demin, even though he has fallen off after being, I think he was a number 2 pick in one of my mock drafts. After he's come back from a calf injury and his game has just cratered. When he first started the season, he was shooting 37% from the 3-point line. He was dropping full court dimes. He was looking like the second coming of Magic Johnson, dare I say. Like the dude at 6'9" for your point guard position was dynamic. And then his shot cratered to 20-something%. And the way he plays now back from injury, he lacks the confidence that he had. And that's the thing about Brandon Miller a few drafts ago that you want to see from these guys. Even though there's adversity, people are talking shit, the fans are booing him everywhere he goes. Speaking of Igor Demin, I don't care. I still want to see you overcome. And when Brandon Miller had all those issues with the shooting and one of his friends died or something, I forget what happened, he came out and then dropped 46 points. He said, I don't care. I'm still better than every single person on the court. And when guys get rattled, guys get shaken, guys look like Ben Simmons, that's when you go, oh no, you step back and you wonder, like, just because they have the talent, are they going to be able to execute on the biggest stage? And that's the issue with Igor Demin. So here at pick number 5, I'm just going to go next best player available. Now, I think the core is set for the Toronto Raptors here. They have Brandon Ingram. They just traded for him. They have Scotty Barnes, their franchise. They have Emmanuel Quickley. They have RJ Barrett. I think you could go for a ball dominant guard here. So I'm going to go best shooter with a little bit of ball handling potentiality there. So Kasparas is still going to go number 5, but I thought really hard about Igor Demin. If that 3-pointer could go back to 37%, like it was at the beginning of the season, Igor Demin, I'm taking him 4. I might take him 3. I might even take him 2, but I'm going to go with Kasparas here at 5, even though I just insulted his game for about 10 minutes. And here we go at pick number 6 for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think point guard, I think shooter. I'm going to go best shooter that's available after Kasparas, and that's sort of Liam McNeely versus Con Knippel. The difference between Liam McNeely and Con Knippel is Liam McNeely actually knows how to play basketball. Con is a shooter. He's like AJ Green. He's like Sam Merrill. You put the ball in his hands, he's going to shoot and make it. Liam McNeely is a little bit closer to Corey Kispert. 3, a little bit of defense, some semblance of defense, not quite as much as you'd like to see, but he's a knockdown, we'll say a 37-ish% 3-point shooter. He'll space the floor. He'll try to D up the other team's best player. Liam McNeely here is going to be my pick at number 6, and that may be a little bit of a surprise for some people's draft boards. And then here at pick 7 are the tanking Brooklyn Nets. I expect them to be even higher at 7 when they come up in this year's draft class. And I'm going to just swing for the fences. You could go a big here, trade away Nick Claxton and see if you can start the rebuild with Kaman Wallach. I think that you hope that VJ Edgecombe develops a game, because to me, VJ Edgecombe is going to be the biggest disappointment of this draft class, coming in as a top 5 prospect. I don't get it. The shooting is starting to climb to acceptable levels. He was shooting like 20%, and more importantly, he was afraid to shoot at the beginning of the season. His shot form is just really disgusting for a 6'6" wing. He has that high over the ball shot. The basketball IQ isn't there. He's got dribbling problems. He's a turnover prone guy. As soon as he tries to drive in the lane, he defers to others. At Baylor, he just hides in the corner. There's flashes, and I've seen it, of the what he could be when he drives hard, jumps over the defender, lays it up athletically with an offhand. I've seen the talent that people are talking about when they draft VJ Edgecombe in these mock drafts. Like, he can do it, but will he? I doubt it, and I don't know if he's going to fall even further than this in the draft process. That being said, the potential is there, so I'm going to send him as the highest potential player in this draft class with zero promise of hitting to the Brooklyn Nets. And then here at pick 8 are the finally, freshly tanking Chicago Bulls. And I know they have a Josh Giddey on this team already. I think Igor Demin is already better than Josh Giddey. Here's what I do with the Bulls. I draft Igor Demin. I think he's the best player available. I get Josh Giddey and Igor Demin, and I put them together and I say, which one of you is going to be better? And I dump the one who isn't. Like, it's really as simple as that. Igor Demin has all the potential to be an elite two-way point guard for this league. He's 6'9", needs to put on a little bit of muscle, needs to bounce back against the scouting reports because they've kind of scouted him as a weak ball handler, a weak shooter, and only good at passing. I say Igor Demin, Josh Giddey, one of you be better. I'm trading away the one that's worse. Simple as that. Igor Demin going number 8. And honestly, I would have liked to take him earlier than that. And here at pick 9 is the Portland Trail Blazers. I think they need NBA ready players. I think they need Con Knippel because of his shooting. Simply put, they don't need more ball handlers. They have Scoot Henderson. They have Shaedon Sharpe. They have Anthony Simons. They have Bryce McGowens. Didn't know that. They have Denny Avdia. They basically are looking for elite wing players. I have no idea why Asa Newell is going so high in this draft class. He's another guy who's really struggles at the sport of basketball, but he's a freak athlete, which means nothing in today's NBA. But I have Con Knippel going here as just more shooting. You can never have enough shooting in today's NBA. Cheap rookie deal for 4 seasons. Con Knippel is going to fit right in to Portland. And here at pick 10 with the unfortunate Spurs who are missing out on Victor Wembanyama. And I think you got to go backup center here. The issue with Victor Wembanyama will always be his availability because, they load managed him as a rookie in year 1. And here in year 2, his conditioning hasn't gotten any better. You notice after about 20 minutes or so, every third quarter, he's going to start huffing and puffing and being tired and putting up bad shots. And as we all know, fatigue makes cowards of us all. And the best big man in this draft class is Kaman Moala. Classic big man, Derek Lively, Nick Claxton, Jared Allen. No ball skills whatsoever, athletic freak, defensive menace. Draft him, stick him in the starting lineup and lob the ball to him, stick him in with the backups and let him defend everything. There was a great possession where he defended all 5 guys in one possession. He is going to be a menace defensively, shades of Dikembe Mutombo for a long time in this league. Unfortunately, the offense is not there. I did not know the San Antonio Spurs also have pick 11 from Atlanta. Give me the ball handler. Give me Ben Serif. Shades of Denny Avdia. He does a little bit of everything except shoot for your team. He looks like he's 93 years old in this screenshot. I hope that's not Ben Serif. At the very least, he's going to be a good defender. He's going to give you similar output to Jeremy Sohan, I think. But at this point, they don't need any more guards on this team. You have De'Aaron Fox. You might have Chris Paul. You have Stephen Castle. You have Blake Wesley. You have Devin Vassell. You have Keldon Johnson. You need to start getting size. You need to start getting elite wing players on this team. And I think Ben Serif is going to be that dude. Here at pick 12 are the Houston Rockets. And whenever every single position is set for my team, like the San Antonio Spurs, I look to draft the backup. So you have Freddie VanVleet at the 1, Reed Shepherd, Aaron Holiday, all great point guard options for your team. I know Reed Shepherd hasn't had a minute on court. You got Jalen Green at the 2. You got Amen Thompson at the 2. You got Cam Whitmore at the 2/3. You got Dylan Brooks at the 2/3. You got Tari Eason at the 4. You got Jabari Smith at the 4. You got Alperen Şengün at the 5. So this is where I start to look at the backups. I start to see who's available for this team. And I think that they need a good, strong backup center similar to the San Antonio Spurs. And the center position is a little bit funny in this draft. You got Asa Newell, who's more of a 4 than a 5. You got Derek Queen, who's a classic 6'10", undersized, unathletic 5. Plays hard, has a little bit of a jumper. You know, there's some bright spots to his game, but I just don't like it. You got Noah SNU, similar to Asa Newell. You got Tom Sorber, similar to Derek Queen. When I'm looking at bigs, I'm looking for size, I'm looking at spacing. And I'm looking at Danny Wolf out of Michigan. This is going to be a guy who's going to jump up the draft boards late in the process. He's a big, lean 7-footer at Michigan. And he plays very similar to Franz Wagner, honestly, even though he's got the size of a 5. He's got shooting. He's got stretch 5 abilities. He's got a long wingspan. He's not the worst athlete. I think Danny Wolf is going to be a big prospect, a big gem coming out of this draft. And I think he's going to be the perfect backup center to Alperen Şengün, who ironically can't shoot and who is short. Danny Wolf is going to be the inverse in strengths of what Alperen Şengün is. Surprise pick here at number 12. Here at pick 13 with the Atlanta Hawks via the San Antonio Spurs. Nope, via the Sacramento Kings. I really have no idea what you do with this draft spot. You could go Colin Murray Boyles. You could go Asa Newell. You could go Noah SNU. I think after trading away DeAndre Hunter, you draft Asa Newell here and hope that he turns into anything. Again, he could turn into Kendall Brown, formerly on the Indiana Pacers, who's basically out of the league. He could turn into Giannis. These guys that are freak athletes with all the potential in the world. It's all about how much effort, how hard these guys want to work. You know, give me Ace Newell here at 13. And then here with the final pick of the lottery, pick 14, you have the Miami Heat via the Golden State Warriors. And I'm going to have to go the best point guard that's available still in this draft class. I know he's fallen quite a bit, but Nolan Traore, I like his potential upside. Higher than Jeremiah Fears, wasn't impressed with his tape out of Oklahoma. Higher than Boogie Fland. I was impressed with his tape, but now he's dealing with an injury and he's got a really skinny, wiry frame. I don't like my guys who get injured when they're in college and are too skinny to stay on the court. Nolan Traore playing against professionals out there in France. Again, the tape isn't great. That's why he started to fall further and further out of the drafts, already now down to 16 in this mock draft ranking. But I think Nolan Traore still has the potential to be an incredible, at least point guard in today's league. And I can't imagine him falling out of the lottery. So that is going to be your mock draft picks 1 through 14. Cooper Flagg to the Washington Wizards, going to be a great franchise piece for them. Dylan Harper to the Pelicans. We hope he can stay healthy. Ace Bailey to the Jazz, going to be a great wing player. Trey Johnson, going to be a bucket in Charlotte. And you got Kasparas Yakusionis to the Raptors. Liam McNeely to the 76ers to give him a little spacing. BJ Edgecombe to the Nets, all upside swing for the fences. Igor Demon to the Bulls, battles it out versus Josh Giddey and seeing who's going to be better. Con Knipple shooting to the Blazers. Come on, Wallach, backup center to the Spurs. Ben Seraph, sort of a Denny Avdia role to the Spurs. Danny Wolf, backup center to the Rockets. Ace Newell, freak upside wing player to the Hawks. And Nolan Traore, upside point guard to the Miami Heat. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, and as always, I will catch you in the next one.